Let me bring it over here. Look at our social media peeps. All right, guys. Want to wait for the people? Want to see if we get some stuff up, or you want to start going?
I think we should just start going.
Yeah, let's just jump in the water, man. The water's warm.
Yep.
Water is warm.
Thanks to a hot market, Joe.
Yeah, let's see how long that lasts.
Oh, don't be Debbie Downer, man.
Yeah.
No.
You're talking to the perma bull here.
Well, we're live, Crypto Chat Live. Let's look at the markets. Keith is a little excited and very optimistic. I'm a little more negative. Fear and Greed Index. Let's click over to that. Is it 60? 2 weeks ago, you're at 25. A lot of excitement. Market's up 45%. Bitcoin's up 45% in 2 weeks. Ethereum, 21%. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum have been in the green for the last 12 days. And Bitcoin moves above the 200 daily moving average. Now, Sean won't believe in technical analysis with this stuff, but a lot of people are still talking about that. Sean, would you like to put in your wisdom?
Oh, yeah. I think, technical analysis goes a long way in terms of herd mentality, right? Those are very non-fundamental kinds of things. And people say, oh, other people are doing it, therefore I'm going to do it, right? Those are the things that lead to bubbles and overvalue and whatever else. Particularly, I think, in crypto, because there is no fundamental, right? What is the fundamental value of Bitcoin? Whatever somebody's willing to buy it for. So, moving above a 200-day SMA is a headline that's important that drives more buyers into the market. So I think you're going to probably see something cyclical here. I'm frankly surprised to see this level, but yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Well, I mean, go ahead. Sorry.
No, Joe. Joe. I think the more time you get under the belt, the more you can look back and do a little more of that, traditional analysis, technical analysis. But any way you slice it, man, it's just been remarkable, right? Ethereum has been a Spartan. Like Bitcoin has just been incredible. Again, putting it all in perspective, like you've had a 50% bounce in 60 days. Up here on your slide, Ethereum is up 21% in a week. Those are annualized returns people would kill for in a week. And I think
we were bouncing between 50 and 60 every 2 weeks. It's kind of typical for crypto.
Yeah, really, really remarkable. And that top to bottom range, we bottomed out not too long ago, 2.5 months, maybe down around 29 on Bitcoin. Peak was up at 60. So we've retraced, we've gained half of that slide. That's impressive. And I'll agree with Sean that now it gets really interesting. I think the fast money was made on the bounce off of 29.30. Now that we're halfway back to 60, now it'll be really interesting.
Thinking about it, you said fast money. Saw Kramer today talk about how he dumped Bitcoin 2 months ago and he's all in on Ethereum. And during this, the whole, crypto tax possibilities, he says he's keeping it. He's keeping his Ethereum.
Yeah. That's just different schools of thought, right? Which horse you're betting on. We're all, I think, on the show, we're Ethereum fans. We lean toward that. We see the use case of that, a utility coin more than a pure store of value coin. But I'll tell you, Joe, I got 3 words for you, brother. Inflation, inflation, inflation. I think either one of those horses is a good bet.
Yeah, totally agree. Inflation is the word of the day for sure. Yep.
Yeah, we received word from one of our suppliers that we're getting across the board increases of 20%, Joe.
Wow.
If you don't think that's going to ripple through the American economy, you're dreaming. So yeah, I think that also might explain a little bit of Bitcoin's run as an inflation hedge. But we'll see.
I read an article today about driver shortages as well. The LTL market is in an acute driver shortage, and there's all kinds of logistics and supply chain issues around that, which, all drive prices higher. So, yep.
All right. Our buddy's here. Oh, we got some people here already complaining about Janet Yellen. I don't know if we want to go into the crypto taxes thing. We want to go into, let's talk about DynamoCoin's wallet first. Some good news first.
Fake news, AD, fake news. All right.
Yeah.
DynamoCoin wallet.
Hey, AD, we'll come back to you in 2 minutes. We're going to do something here with Sean's been very excited about this, and I'll let him jump in. This is just a preview of the Dynamo Wallet that he's been working very hard on, and I'll let you walk through it, Sean.
Yeah. So this is the setup page, which actually has already been modified to allow you to recover recover a wallet from seeds, etc. So, but normally coming to the page the first time, you'll see this kind of interface. This is where you're going to put in your password that secures the wallet. So much like MetaMask, when you put in a password, you can just create your own password. And you'll notice in the lower right-hand corner, there's support for a virtual keyboard as well. So if you're on mobile, it'll pop up a little keyboard so that you don't, it doesn't use the native keyboard, it uses a built-in keyboard. This is where you generate some randomness to create your recovery seed, the 12-word recovery seed. Again, this is not actually doing anything in this version. I have programmed all of this and intend to release it this evening. Behind the scenes, it's going to generate your recovery seed, and then if you click the reveal, it'll show it to you, and then you should definitely write it down and keep it in a safe place.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
It seems it's kind of nice. It's not like doing the Chrome wallet where it is attached inside Chrome. You're just pulling it up in a browser.
It's not a plugin, so that means you can use this on any device. Remember, Chrome plugins are not supported on any sort of mobile devices. So if you want to try to use MetaMask, you have to go to the App Store or Chrome or whatever. This circumvents all of that. So all you need is a browser, and it'll work on any platform, any operating system, any browser, basically. There's, even the most rudimentary browser from 10 years ago, things like Silk and Link and stuff like that. As long as it supports an HTML5 canvas, it'll do this. It's all pure JavaScript. Nothing funny at all. So
even though it's up in a browser like this, it's not hackable if somebody's. I'm just talking about safety issues. People are always concerned about that stuff. What's the difference between having it, and maybe it's something I don't understand. What's the difference of having it in a Chrome than putting it going into a browser?
No difference really. Chrome extension allows you to do certain functionalities related to that Web 3.0 linking stuff. We're going to do it a slightly different way, but that's really, I think, the only reason they use the Chrome extension.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, I think, Joe, just speaking to the Dynamo community, that we can't underscore enough like how significant this is, because this really is the last lap in terms of the technical development and making the wallet accessible, making DynamoCoin accessible, removing friction, because presently it's a bit of a challenge to get a wallet set up and utilize the coin. So we're really excited about this. This will be the springboard, to monetizing this and moving into the real commercialization phase of DynamoCoin. So again, tipping the invisible hat to Sean and the rest of the dev team. Really, really good stuff. This is a big day.
Yep.
And so writing down the seed phrases. The demo.
It's a demo. It's all hard coded, so that probably is a wallet, but there's no coins attached to it. One of the things I think that's significant here is that we're going to have NFTs natively supported in here, so you can upload an NFT directly in this interface. You can view NFTs directly in this interface, and you can search for and send and receive NFTs all in this interface. So if you want to upload your images and put them on a marketplace and link them through your wallet, this will also support a buy it now kind of thing, where if somebody wants to put a link on a website that says buy this thing in Dynamo, it will automatically open the user's wallet and say, approved to spend 10 Dynamo, yes or no, that kind of thing. So it does support the exact same functions like MetaMask and Trust Wallet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got a good question from Dallas. The wallet is running off the NFT nodes, right, Sean?
Yes. So the wallet is served from the wallet itself is an NFT. So it's a JavaScript program that's been mined into the blockchain and is served from an NFT enabled node. So if you don't want to trust wherever you're getting your wallet from, you can just run your own node and synchronize the blockchain, and you'll have a completely trusted wallet. Obviously, that's a lot harder, and we're not going to require users to do that. But you know, if you want to have a high trust environment, such as if you're doing a merchant application or something like that, you can completely host this all on your own. So, yep, all off NFT nodes. More or less secure than a QT node, no difference. The QT nodes store master private keys in the wallet. This stores your master private key in the Chrome database, if you will, which is used for lots of different things, including Trust Wallet, where they store their master private keys. So no difference. And we'll be using AES 256 encryption to secure all the master private keys. Your password is SHA-256 hashed, so no passwords are stored plain text anywhere. It's all industry standard kind of security protocols. So no difference in terms of security. Rewards for hosting, not yet. We have to build in smart contracts, which is right after this wallet, and then we'll come up with the reward scheme for storing the NFT database, the proof of time storage, basically.
And Sean, tell people we are walking through and thinking about people that are coming and watching our chat, maybe doing some giveaways during the chat. We're still working on that. We're not going to say exactly yet.
Yeah.
Details.
The web wallet offers some really cool opportunities to do sophisticated airdrops. So if you have your wallet open, we can perhaps push a link to the wallet that says click here to join the stream. And then you'll be rewarded with some amount of Dynamo. So we can use this as a marketing tool to push out our own content. And then, frankly, third parties can use this as a marketing tool, perhaps by sending NFTs to, like wallet drops. There's a coupon for $10 off a pizza or whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity here in the wallet because of it's so accessible.
And finally, you can actually receive and trade and have Dynamo without going through an exchange.
Well, yeah, you can receive it. We will support purchase. So if somebody wants to buy Dynamo, we're going to support purchase in the wallet. We're not going to support sale because that turns us into a money service business, and then we have to go through the FinCEN and all the licensing stuff.
Oh, okay.
And KYC and all that kind of stuff. If you just do it one way, where you're purchasing, where you're selling your own Dynamo. So we will sell a limited amount of Foundation Dynamo through the wallet just to get people access. And it'll be $5 or $10 or something like that.
How does PancakeSwap and Uniswap and places like that get away with it then?
Well, PancakeSwap runs on Binance, right? Which is really completely centralized. They have 21 full nodes, and the full nodes all have to be approved by Binance, right? You can't just run your own Binance full node. That's how they get away with, fractions of a penny and 3-second confirmation time.
Well, you know what I'm talking about? Like if I got one of the wallets, I've never had to do KYC.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can't get fiat out of Pancake though, right?
Yeah.
Right. So whenever an American touches fiat, that's when KYC and AML come into play. So if when you withdrew from CoinGecko or whatever, that's you're going to have to ante up for that, all your driver's license and all the other stuff.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Go ahead, Sean. And then
I was going to say, any legitimate United States exchange is going to KYC AML when you go from currency to fiat.
And I know we'll be doing explainer videos, and maybe we'll even have like an AMA show just dedicated to this. But I think it's really important to underline, we're also planning on doing, a referral program for our loyal Dynamo community who's been with us from the beginning. So there's a lot of exciting things in the works right now, and a lot more to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'll never go back to fiat. I know.
Yeah.
As soon as I can pay my rent in Ethereum or Dynamo, you're absolutely right. And I think we're going to be there soon.
I know. You see, Spain proposed it. They're trying to. You can put your mortgages through cryptocurrency. It's its own proposal, but it's a step. It's a step forward.
I mean, and frankly, you're with mortgages and car loans, you got to do tons of KYC anyway, right? Any kind of time you're touching credit, you're going to get a credit report and prove. They do all kinds of AML on mortgages and car loans. So,
all right. So how about this, Sean, on the other end of the spectrum, man? How about right prior to us going live tonight, AMC movie theaters just announced that by year end they're going to accept Bitcoin as payment for your $20 popcorn and a movie.
With an $8 transaction fee, right?
Yeah, but that speaks to what we were talking about earlier, transaction speed. And, we all know that, as you say, those larger transactions, lower frequency, higher value. Yeah, we could see that story clear as day. That like Sheets paying for your gas and your Snickers and your Coca-Cola. And the AMC news is big news. I'm a retail guy, and they got 1,000 doors out there showing, selling movie tickets for $20 a pop. That would be interesting. What'll be really fascinating is to see the adoption.
How do they price it too? Yeah, like who? First of all, who's going to do it? Like, I would be afraid to spend, because then you're going to end up with just like the guys that sent 100 Bitcoin for a pizza, right?
Yeah,
it's $1 million pizza. Like, I would be afraid to spend my Bitcoin because next week it's probably going to be worth double. You're like, I don't know, and how are they going to price it? Like, I wouldn't want to buy tickets in advance because the dollar moves too much. So.
You buy tickets, Bitcoin goes up 15,000. You just spend
scalp my tickets, right? Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know, man. Yeah.
I spend my fiat with prejudice like I spend my spare change. All right, let's go into the more dramatic news, and that is what the crypto tax bill, or the infrastructure bill, I should say. What's going on with the Senate right now?
Yeah,
infrastructure. They're trying to put in a last-minute amendment, and it was turned down. It had to be unanimous, and it was turned down. I'm on the wrong one. Okay, crypto tax bill, even though it's the infrastructure bill. $1 trillion of infrastructure bill. The current language defines a broker, and this is the tricky thing, I guess, which was turned down today, that basically any person that transferred digital assets for another person, they want to consider as a broker, and that could affect a lot of people, which could be miners, stakers, validators, anyone. It doesn't sound, I'm not sure if they're going to go after people, but it's still out there. It seems like they were way too broad on the way they presented this.
They're going to make a lot of mistakes, Joe, right? I mean, they know that the technology is moving so fast. The article that I read prior to going live tonight was that no matter what they do, by the time the ink is dry on this bill, they're going to have to revisit it again in like 6 to 12 months because it just moves too fast. So yeah, I think it's going to be really cumbersome and clunky. They're going to get something done because keep in mind, this $1 trillion infrastructure bill is just another form of stimulus, which is just more gasoline on the inflation fire. Yeah, they got to do something, but I guarantee it's just one step in, a long chain of many with these guys trying to get their arms around crypto regulation.
Yeah. I think you called it last week on the show when we talking about this, and you said, they're gonna knee jerk. It's just we got to do something quickly, and so they did something. But it's ridiculous. It's unenforceable as written. I'm sure that there will be legal challenges. If this does pass the House, which I gave it maybe a 50-50. I don't know. There's maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, it still doesn't seem 100%, and it doesn't look like the markets are afraid either. Even when the unanimous, it didn't pass unanimously. It didn't drop. The markets didn't drop at all.
That was fascinating, Joe. I watched that. I thought that was really telling. It's like the market's calling the bluff of the politicians.
Yeah. Well, you got another September, whatever they come back in session, September 12th or something. So you got another month. And then, the lobbies are saying that they're going to work really hard to get this taken out. Clearly, they know there's an issue. And this hiccup, this procedural hiccup today was, obviously just a mistake. So I think people can be a little bit more prepared to deal with it and get it out of there, right? They can take it out and then do a reconciliation at the end when they enact it. And then, frankly, you're not looking at policy or procedure until probably next year anyway, right? Just because they passed this law, the IRS doesn't immediately, they have to write it into the IRC code, right? They've got to figure out who's, how to staff it and what are the procedures and, when the rubber hits the road. And, I would expect, I'll tell you for sure, if this law passes, I'll be one of the first people heading down to federal court to file an injunction. I'm sure there's going to be a plethora of lawsuits just based on how it was written. So I think the war is far from over on this.
Because a lot of these things that I'm reading here affect like the bigger traders or the broker type, miners. How is this going to affect the average guy that's just on Coinbase?
Well,
the majority of the people are just on Coinbase, just buying.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No impact to the end users. It's more people like us, because you could say me writing software that enables people to move coins makes me a broker, I guess. If I'm running a full node and I help people exchange coins, am I a broker? I don't know, right? Like, you can't really tell. It defies all logic and the plain meaning of the word broker. So, broker means you make money by putting two people together.
Are you surprised this law was so poorly written, especially because that Gary Gensler had to have a lot of influence during the whole process of this, yet there's a lot of mistakes written all through it, and you think he would have a lot of knowledge with his background?
You would have thought, and I think what was completely surprising is that the White House was on board with this. I would have thought that being more progressive, they should have said, no, this is a poorly written law, but they were completely in support of the bill as written. They were not supporting the amendment. So I was a little bit disappointed by that. There's clearly some lack of understanding and vision there.
Yeah. And guys, let's be a little honest here. Like, are the sharpest minds in the room, no disrespect in Washington, are the sharpest minds in the room going on the regulatory side of crypto, or are they on the leading edge, the technology, the investment, the development, the creative side? I'm going to hedge my bets to say more of them are on that side of the equation. So, who does that leave?
I think an interesting, I had a conversation when I was first getting involved with Ethereum, and I talked with one of the members of the Ethereum Foundation on the phone for about an hour or so, just talking about the structure and everything else. And one of the things I addressed with him was Ethereum 2.0 proof of stake being, a loan. Basically, it's if you read the white paper, it says an internet bond. And I'm like, dude, that was the stupidest thing to title that white paper, because you just invited regulatory action. It's clearly a security. I'm like, dude, Ethereum 2.0 is obviously a security, right? People are putting money into the network and getting a return back. When you stake your node, you actually agree to a contract. It's not clear who the counterparty is in the contract, but you've got all these pages you go through and you click I agree at the bottom. There's some kind of agreement. I'm not sure with who, but it's just all this indicia of a securities offering. So I said, dude, ETH 2.0 is going to be deemed a security. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. We'll just innovate out of it. We'll just change it.
There you go.
We'll just reprogram it so that it doesn't meet their definition anymore.
And
I think that's exactly what you said, right? Like, by the time they get this thing on the books and they get the procedure and everything else, we'll just change it so it doesn't meet the definition, right? It's software. You just change it.
But after listening to a talk the other day with Charles Hoskinson with Cardano, he talked about how they really can't decentralize this stuff because they need these companies to program it, because you can't just have anybody out there programming things. So it seems like they really could never decentralize this.
The linchpin of everything is the GitHub credentials, right? That's it. How do I get code into production, right? So somebody has to have those credentials. The only way that I could figure out how to get around that is to not have the person with the credentials have control of the agenda, right? So the person with the credentials is just like, the guy the janitor who mops the floors. No, he doesn't do anything other than mop the floors. If the boss says go mop these floors or mop those floors, he does it, right? So you can't say, well, you've got the keys, you're going to control it too, right? So if you separate those two things and you let the community of the holders decide the agenda, and the person with the keys just does the thing, it becomes much less centralized. So I think that's
that was my have outside people. You don't need companies, like he kind of explains.
No, I don't think so.
You kind of compared to building a skyscraper. You got to have a company build a skyscraper. You can't just say, "Oh, we're going to build a building. Everybody show up with hammers and let's build this."
Right. Well, see, what he's talking about is coordinated development. So you still need a team of people, but that team can be can be hired by a foundation and still not be centralized, right? The agenda still has to be set by the community. I think that's what creates the decentralization.
Vincent's here. Okay.
Rewind.
Not late. Rewind the whole thing back. Okay. No, it was interesting. I like listening to him talk, but he's a good talker and he made some valid points, but I don't understand behind the scenes like you do.
I think it can be decentralized.
Okay. Yeah. So nobody could just come in there and you got some random guy writing some code in there and you don't know, and it ends up being something that could be bad for the.
You need to have a security audit by a neutral third party that says this thing looks okay, right? You definitely need that. Yep.
Yeah.
But that doesn't lead to centralization. Anybody can write code and then everybody audits it, and if it's cool, it goes in.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Kind of want to go over the last couple of days. We have the Ethereum update after the London hard fork. 46 million ETH burned in 3 days. No issues so far. I know a lot of people were worried about that at first. And I know for me personally, my miner hasn't lost. He's still making the same amount of money. So how do you think it's going so far, guys? This update.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. I think everybody held their breath, right? Everybody held their breath, and it went so damn smoothly. Everybody sort of thought they missed something, and to see Ethereum, hit with a 3 handle, that's pretty damn nice. And I gotta say again, credit where credit is due. It was obviously handled well. They obviously had plenty of time to plan for it. But I think it's kind of hard to argue that, the execution of this thing went pretty damn smoothly. And obviously the market agrees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, took a dark cloud away in terms of minor revolt and hard forks and what might happen if, Coinbase was on the wrong chain or something like that. And I'm pretty much the same. I've if anything, realized an increase in my mining profitability over the last couple of days or so, just because the price appreciation. I think it's down about 20%, net number of Ethereum that I mine each day. But hasn't really been terrible.
Keith, you want to take this one? Hector Swift, nothing backs up virtual money.
Yeah, nothing backs up fiat. It came off the gold standard. So
the full faith and credit of the United States government, whatever that means.
Yeah, I mean, El Salvador is switching to Bitcoin because it's more reliable.
Just print more.
We were talking. I was talking with my my daughter about the price of college. Yeah, pun boom. And I remember we were talking about the shock and awe number for a school year of university was if it started with a 2, if it started with it was 20,000 or greater, it just took your breath away like it was an unheard of number. Now they're $60,000 and $70,000. Like it's just mind blowing. So
it's funny though. There's an interesting thing. My son was saying because he's interested in Ivy League and it's going to be just like you said, 60, 70 grand.
Mm-hmm.
He said that's only in the United States. If you go overseas, you look at Oxford, it's like 12,000.
Yeah, I've done the research, brother. We can talk offline. But there's star for foreign students, i.e., your kids and mine. Yeah, they don't get that rate. We looked at University of Toronto, and we looked at a few in England too, and it was all the same thing.
Yeah.
But hey, good to have you on board, Pun.
Puncraft is here.
I was getting nervous.
I know, worried. I wondered why Puncraft didn't, Oh, I thought maybe he would have been a miner. He is not a miner.
Not an ETH miner. He mines Dynamo.
Yes.
He's a smart guy.
Hector Swift back again. Money is metal. Paper is a receipt for metal. Coins are money. Crypto and paper are a promise of money. Who wants
Is that haiku? I don't know. Sounds like
Yep.
I'm not sure what to make of it.
Yeah, something is only worth what someone's willing to pay. And yes, coins are metal, but are you gonna? Do you have a metal smelter in the backyard? I mean, what good is that? I think in real practical terms, any asset is worth what somebody else is willing to pay for it, whether it's art or gold or crypto. So, yeah, I think it's definitely the future.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had the gold fiat in ages. It's true.
60s.
Yep. Yeah, there's no gold backing it.
64, right? Yeah.
And even if there was, what can you do with gold? You can't eat it, right? I mean, unless you're making circuit boards, it's pretty useless, or jewelry, right? So, yeah.
Vincent, the tech behind the utility of the chain has lots of value.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Yeah, and I think to piggyback on Vincent's comment there, I think that explains a bit why we all lean toward the utility coin as opposed to the true store of value coin, because in that regard, I do agree with Hector. I think there's a certain, hard to quantify, but a certain risk relative to the store of value coins. But those utility coins, if you find the right one, and obviously Ethereum really is paving the way, you can see a lot of intrinsic value in it. As Sean said, it's akin to another software platform that people just pay up for day in, day out, year in, year out.
I think also people are mistaken because they keep on thinking cryptocurrency is a currency, and Ethereum, the network is so much more than a currency, as they call it, like the future of the internet, and a lot of things you're going to be able to do on it.
Yeah.
But there is value
money
because of all the things you're going to do on Ethereum.
Yeah. I think that programmable money really sums it up well. I think it's a great idea.
You can't eat a promise or material things. You can drive the title of a car or live in the of a house.
Yeah, nothing like real estate.
Semantics.
I love it.
Let's see. We're going to start moving on, or ignore it.
Yeah, it's almost past.
All right, let's get to the. I want to get over to the Binance thing real quick because I thought that was pretty big. He's only been in.
You guys called that though. You called it.
Yep. Binance US CEO Brian Brooks resigns after 3 months, citing strategic differences. The same day, Malaysia, UK, Japan, and Thailand order company out of their markets. What does this do for Binance US? They're trying to distance themselves, but
they claim that it's no control, right? But obviously, there was strategic differences in how much no control there was. So I think this is interesting to see for sure. I don't know how popular Binance US is, because Coinbase kind of has it wrapped up pretty well in KuCoin. So I don't know. I mean, clearly they, CZP thinks that he's maybe beyond the reach of the long arm of the law, and Brian Brooks didn't want to be part of that. So,
I mean, didn't we see something similar with Uber, right? Founder and CEO Travis was, I don't say scapegoated, but he was shown the door for the greater good of the company, and it just feels a lot like that. This is not uncharted territory. This is what happens periodically.
It's a maturing market, right? Yeah. It's people kind of coalescing around a common theme. So, yep. Mm-hmm.
You said the three of us aren't laugh at things that aren't funny. Honestly, I think it's funny that a guy comes in and becomes CEO and in 3 months has to quit or leaves. I mean, there's something there. That's kind of hilarious to me because he saw something that wasn't good at all. Just trolling Hector. I love people that troll us. They're the best. Fiat and where's our blockchain? What's her name?
Jenny on the block.
Jenny on the blockchain. She's not here today. Her and
She
Hector
should have her
would be
own
together.
with a handle like that. She should have her own YouTube channel. That's
Yeah.
It's a great riff.
Yeah, we're about 35 minutes in. We'll see who else is out there. Anything else you guys want to talk about?
We have this SEC settlement. I think that's kind of interesting.
Oh
as well.
yeah. Let me pull that up. I didn't make a chart for that, but
I think the contrast with Ripple. First of all, it was a $10 million fine, which is nothing, right? They made hundreds of millions of dollars on the sale of Polynex. But I think it's interesting that the SEC settled, right? Because nobody admitted any wrongdoing. They weren't formally charged with anything. Nobody's going to jail. So this is kind of interesting that they did settle. I think you're going to see these two camps, right? You're going to see the Ripple camp, which is like we're gonna make law, out of this, right? Because if the SEC loses and there's a court precedent, right, that can help everybody, right? So I think so it's interesting that Ripple is going to the mat on this one, whereas these guys just.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because there was a lot of speculation that Ripple was going to do the same thing and kind of settle out for $10 million. I mean, the exact same amount, which was interesting.
Yeah.
But they're fighting it, even though there was the same thing, no wrongdoing, everything they could have been done. Mm-hmm. But it seems like the SEC is just going to start bouncing from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next.
Well, that's what they're talking about is, regulation by enforcement, right? You can't basically it's the SEC legislating without Congress, right? They're just calling it something that it may or may not be, and then assessing these fines. And so I think Ripple calling their bluff on this is really great. Polynex, again, they probably just did the math, right? They made 150 or 160 million dollars on the sale of their company, 10% tax, right? They just paid $10 million.
Yeah. But it seems like it's just going to keep on happening now. They're just going to keep on going after all these exchanges. Well,
this was an exchange. Ripple is obviously a coin, right?
I'm talking about coin. Yeah, coin and exchange.
Yeah.
So Joe, do I hear
stay
you
away from us?
I think I hear Joe calling the SEC an ambulance chaser. Is that what I'm hearing, Joe?
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm hearing.
In the news, it sounds like that's what they're doing. They're just trolling. They're trolling
I agree completely.
Over here.
I completely agree.
Trolling too.
They're ringing the register. I mean, 10 million a pop. Cha-ching.
But the funny thing is, where does that $10 million go? Right? It doesn't go for restitution. It doesn't help the public, right? The people who lost money, which probably not many did. Those people don't get their money back. So it's very, very annoying. I don't know. That kind of thing is super annoying because it's just it's regulation for the point of regulation. I don't know.
But that's what our government does very well. We regulate everything. No
matter what. Yep.
What I love is I can't put some of these up. Our community over here is basically trolling Hector now.
Oh no.
Yes.
Be nice. Everybody be nice. We're all have a good time.
People ask me tough questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want everybody here. Hector. Crypto was simply see. That's where you're telling me crypto is simply going to collapse. Meanwhile, all these world governments are starting to adopt it.
Yeah, and I think that's also a very broad brush. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying even the United States knows that it's going to be part of mainstream society. They're just trying to regulate it now because they know it's not going to go away.
Right. And just because not everyone survives, the test of time doesn't mean that it's going to completely collapse. The genie isn't going back in the bottle. So no,
this feels like a technology that's here to stay from my perspective. This is, I'm not sure I'd call it, internet 2.0 or whatever they're, like that kind of thing. Cause the internet's an infrastructure. But this is something that feels pretty long lasting to me.
Yeah, I'm distracted over here watching the pretend money is here to stay.
I don't know. I think
and this is the thing I have to say too is if people want to call it. When's the last time you actually pull cash out? Everybody's using a credit card anyway. In a lot of ways, you're using digital money. You've been using digital money for what? The last 20 years. Every time you're using a credit card, you're really using fiat currency in a lot of ways. You're not using the US dollar. The last time you went to the bank and pulled out money. Average bank, what, has $7,000 in it, they say?
Yeah. I'm not allowed to carry cash. That's my wife's rule, but
Nice.
I'll just spend it. Yeah.
Pretend that's funny. All right. Somebody's butt hurt. I see.
Uh-oh.
They're going. It's a big fight in here. I love it.
Uh-oh.
I love it. All right, we're 40 minutes in. Anybody have
Yeah.
some good questions for Sean? He had the wallet. He introduced the wallet tonight, a preview of it. I'll leave it with that as we maybe end this sucker.
Wednesday, we'll do a live demo. Actually, create a wallet, send some coins, receive some coins, send an NFT, receive an NFT. We can do all that on Wednesday. I'm
Actually,
hopefully going to publish it tonight.
Hector should come on Wednesday.
Yep.
We'll show him how to open a wallet. Put a couple Dynamo in there or something.
We'll give him some pretend money.
Then he has some pretend money, and then he'll get addicted. He'll get in. He'll get into it.
Yep.
I'll understand the bigger picture.
How about 5 more minutes of giggling?
How about that?
All right.
Right.
All right, guys.
Good. That's a wrap.
Cool. Mm-hmm.
That is a wrap. Say goodbye to our crew. All right.
Goodbye,
Good night,
crew.
guys.
Good night,
Bye.
everybody.